Are we?
We are live,
Are we?
yes. Are we?
I don't know, are we? I can't see it.
Are we? Are we?
I think.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, we still have the basic bitch
We are
overlay.
live.
It's okay.
Hello.
I think we'll survive. Hello! Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to the Undesirables podcast, where we talk about nothing for 2 hours, and everyone sits here and watches and plays fart sounds.
Okay, I've got nothing on screen for mine.
What?
Mine still says that we're offline.
Refresh.
Refresh.
When in doubt, refresh.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There we are. Yeah. So,
If in doubt, refresh.
yeah,
I'll
pretty
be
much.
on the right hand side.
I don't know. I could go either way. If I go this way, I'm on the left. I'm on this way, I'm on the right.
Doesn't matter. Both on top.
That would be a way better name for the show. 3 Fat Cunts. People would definitely tune in to see that and be like, what the hell is this? Definitely live.
Yep.
Love it.
So hi, bye.
Hi. Yeah, we're going to rename the show now.
The triple flabathon.
Whoa.
Like it.
Yeah. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's go over the weekly events. Anything new with anybody? Mike got new shiny. Oh,
And a new mod shiny.
okay. How do you like it?
The Exos Pro, I'm absolutely loving it with the 0.4 coil.
Demo got one of those recently as well, and I'm actually considering it. I need to get myself
Grim
off.
says it's legit.
Yeah,
It's fucking brilliant.
I really need to get off the disposables. I'm getting sick of them. I've noticed I'm wheezing more now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I
You're
wonder if
polluting the planet.
Look, there's an island of garbage in the Pacific Ocean the size of Texas.
There's an island of Lost Marys.
Yeah. Someone's gonna come up on that in a fishing trawler or something.
Lost
Mary Island, dude.
Surely if it's going to be called Mary, it's got to be part of the Virgin Islands.
Oh, Mike. Ooh.
She wasn't though. She was when she had Jesus, supposedly.
Oh boy. Theological
Let's not
discussion.
get into that.
Yeah,
Let's not
look
get
at
into
even
that.
Jane face palmed on that one. Oh, man. Nice. Yeah, Lost Mary Island. Well, no, the new ones are going to be Raz Island and Geek Bar Pulse Island. You guys get the Lost Marys. Now we're up to 15,000 puffs, and I've already seen some that are up to 20,000.
15,000?
Yes. I've seen 20,000. No. 20,000 and 25,000 puffs are coming soon.
Jesus.
Yes.
I
Not
don't
for
know
long.
how. I don't know where my friend's dad gets them from, but he vapes on a 7,500 puff.
Yep. Oh, let's see. Is that the Orion? The Lost
I don't know
Vape?
what it's called. It's fucking huge.
Yeah, they're ginormous.
I mean, I'm not being funny. It looks like he's holding a fucking dildo when he's got it in his hand.
Whore Island. I mean, some might say that.
That's where Nick currently resides.
Sam also resides there when we're at work together. Yeah, we get a difficult customer in at work, and we just go to each other, just like Whore Island. That's where we are right now. We're in Whore Island. But yeah, 7,500 puffs is like they're actually discontinuing most of the 5,000 and 6,000 puff ones.
Yeah.
To go up to 9,000, 10,000
Encourage people
plus.
to buy those ones.
Yeah, dude, they're like perfectly good, like
They're not going to last long though.
older Raz vapes. Oh no, yeah.
Because I mean, there aren't. I mean, if we're going to be banning them, then I'm pretty sure America's going to go. See, even Britain's doing it now.
Well, you guys are doing it for not the health
We were
reason
right.
so much.
We weren't.
you guys are probably doing it more for the environmental impact, I would imagine. Which
Well,
makes sense.
They're coming at it from the kid angle because over here there's lots of illegal vendors selling to kids.
Shitload, yeah.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to stop anything.
They
It's
are
just going to make
actually,
it more
it is
difficult.
actually the kids this time.
Yeah. Well, these stupid shit kids. First of all, they come into my shop.
License them.
They call them depots, right? Because it's DISPO for like dispo, right? Disposable. Shortened to dispo. And they think the S is silent, so they call them depot. Like it's some sort of fucking fancy French language or something. Enforce the law, yeah. Well, Jenny and I found out from a vape shop in Liverpool that there's only 2 tobacco enforcement people for the whole of Liverpool. And they have to go out in pairs because there was an incident where one of them got locked in the storage closet after, like, basically an investigation on a location. They locked a guy in a frickin' storage closet.
What they should do is, instead of allowing like news agents, you know, that's basically your corner store in the US, but like just instead of allowing anybody to sell them, just have a license. Treat it like alcohol.
It
Treat it like
does.
alcohol. You
Yep.
have to have a license to sell them. That would encourage a
does
lot
help.
of people to stick to the law.
And I'm not being funny. If I was on the enforcement team, if I walked into a shop and saw them selling to an underage person, I would take their license away there and then on the spot. Doesn't matter if it's the first, second, or third time. License gone.
So
Shut that fucker down.
we get a 3-strike thing over here.
Nah, fuck that.
We get 3
Fuck that.
strikes. First is like $150 fine, I think. Second is $1,500, and the third is license removal, and you have to take a class to get it back.
I'm sorry, but if you're selling to minors, it shouldn't be a strike system at all. It should be just, no, I'm sorry. That's it. You're fucked.
2 teams, 4 people for the whole of the Northwest. Jesus
Holy
Christ.
shit.
Nah.
How can you have enforcement? That is not enforcement. That's like saying, okay, there's 4 policemen for the entire Northwest of the country.
Yeah.
That's insane. Oh my god. Imagine getting locked in a storage closet. Yeah, I know, right? So, yeah. I'm surprised you guys don't have any sort of licensure about it, because, like, we do that. We have
It
licenses
could be coming.
and it's a specific vape license. It's not even tobacco license.
It just makes sense to me. It makes more sense than any restrictions that they're already talking about.
A cab. I'm under the impression that
allow the adults to have the choice, but you know, be a little more strict as far as licensing goes.
like I don't like excessive licensure. Like I don't think you need like 18 different licenses to do
No.
what you want to do in life.
No.
Like, you know how over here we have income tax and, you know, property tax and this tax and that tax. Like it's like you don't need that many taxes to tax the same thing. We get taxed on our income, and then we also get taxed to spend our money. And like it's crazy. If you're buying,
Same here.
selling, doing anything, if you're moving money in this
Same
country,
here.
you're getting taxed, and the government's taking a little pinch.
We get taxed on our income and pay, what is it, 27% VAT.
Yeah.
It's probably more than that now, actually, with the cost of living increase.
I mean, the good part about your country, though, is you don't have to worry about doing your income taxes yourself. Your employer does it, which is kind of handy. Over here, it's a guessing game.
How much is British VAT?
The British sales tax, known as Value Added Tax, VAT, is currently set at 20%.
20%.
20? Oh, they reduced it. It used to be 27.
Well, still, you're being taxed to use a service that many of you don't ever use, right?
Oh, that's right. They lowered it to encourage people to spend again after lockdown.
So, with that, I'm down to throw more tea. Jesus, Sam. God damn it. So, okay. Over here we
It's a
have.
waste of good tea.
We also have. Well, no, that was at the time. It was like the brick tea. Like it wasn't normal like tea bags. It was like bricks of tea. Anyways, so we have excise tax. So just to have a vehicle, we have excise
Jenny.
tax. Just to own and hold a vehicle that takes up space costs us money in this country. And then, like, okay, so they made a separate tax for vaping, which is kind of okay. I'm kind of okay with that because it makes sure that shops that have a tobacco license can't just start selling vapes. Like, not just anybody that sells cigarettes can sell vapes. You have to have a special license to sell vapes, which makes sense. You know, that way it's not at every corner shop, you know. I mean, granted, it's not an expensive license, but at the same time, it just keeps a little bit of the riffraff out.
Well, it blended with what you and Jenny said, license to shops.
Yeah.
So that it's only vape shops that are allowed to sell like vape products and nicotine. But then what they could do is go back to the old system where it was actually keep the tobacco away from newsagents as well, and have licensed only tobacco shops.
Yep.
Which are not going to last long anyway because we're going smoke free in 2030. Which isn't that far away.
Yeah, it's creeping up.
Yep.
But no, I mean, as for the license of the shops, if they're caught selling to underage, they lose their license on the first hit, and the fine is around 250,000.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Let's hit them hard.
I am right.
Make an example.
Yeah. If it's that large a fine, people are going to be really fucking cagey about selling to anyone else that they shouldn't be.
It needs to be like that.
Yeah. And for me being anti-tax and anti, oversight, like I need some oversight. We all need some oversight.
Yeah, you need
Otherwise
some sort of regulation. Yeah.
But like not having anything for tobacco control is ridiculous. And that's why the FDA's stuff isn't working the way they thought it would, because there's no one to enforce it. They don't have FDA cops out there. They have people they hire, just random people. The FDA just kind of hires whoever wants a job to drive around to the shops with a clipboard.
It's been a free for all since what, 2010, 2011 when they first started coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, around that.
So, I mean, I'm really surprised there hasn't been some sort of regulatory fucking action taken since, except for prohibition.
Jane says VAT, road tax, death tax, earnings tax, property tax, purchase tax. How many more? Fuel, nicotine, alcohol, we have them all. It's true. Fuel over here is taxed 0.9 cents on every dollar.
Answer the phone, woman. Thank you.
So 0.9 cents on everything, right? So that adds up. We don't even think about it because it is a very low tax, all things considered. And our fuel prices have never been as bad as yours. And it's just been ingrained in us so much that we don't even care anymore. Like we just accept it because it's whatever. It's like what we have to do. And at the end of the day, I'd rather see, the taxes going towards what they were meant to.
Yep.
Fixing roads, infrastructure. Now we have we're damn near crisis at this point because bridges are starting to just disintegrate all across this country. And we're so preoccupied with lining politicians' pockets that we can't all just go, hey, maybe we should do something about those roads and bridges. We've created this massive infrastructure system which moves everything across this huge country, and we're not taking care of it. And let alone our train system, At the end of the day, trains and trucks run this country.
Wait, I thought that's what the master settlement agreement was for roads and bridges.
Dude, none of that money goes towards roads and bridges. You might
It
see.
used to.
Did it ever though? Really? States.
No, it went straight into politicians' pockets.
Right. So states borrow against that money. So states preemptively get billions of dollars from the tobacco companies because they know they're going to have a steady amount of income, which is why I feel like this whole thing is happening in the first place. So the master settlement agreement is basically just like a contract of death with every state going against, basically we're allowed to kill some of your people with our product and we'll just give you billions of dollars. And the states in
To
the
cover
country are just
healthcare
like,
and whatnot, supposedly.
yeah, no, none of that goes for what it's meant to. It just doesn't happen.
I remember Daniel Jones's documentary.
I know for a fact our road tax doesn't go for the roads.
Well, they wouldn't be in such bad shape now, would they? If that were the case.
No. I mean, in this road alone, about 300 metres up the road, there's a pothole in the middle of the road, and it's more or less like the fucking Grand Canyon.
And you see all this construction on the roads, just little parts, and I've seen this bridge near me on my way to work has been under construction for years. They redid the whole corner, this big corner on the road, and there's a bridge that goes over it. They redid all that road, and now they're working on the bridge, and it's been so long that it's been under construction. I don't even know what it's like not under construction anymore.
Well, from now until April is when you'll start seeing roads all around the UK getting done up, because that's when they start using the surplus of the money that the councils have borrowed. So if they still have that surplus amount left in any council's bank account, then they get that amount less on their next budget. So basically every council around the UK goes, spend that fucking money now before we get taxed and lose that amount next year.
But I mean,
so everything gets done between now and April.
But it seems like the most menial little shit, like especially with potholes around here. We live in a climate where we get snow, rain, everything. We get all the different seasons, which means that when it freezes and expands and contracts, you end up with potholes and cracks and all sorts of stuff like that. And we don't really fix it. We don't do anything about it. We just go, we'll patch it. We'll throw a little cold patch on there and fix it in the summer. Like we have a road right out by me. The main road is made of concrete. Now, concrete is a pretty good surface for a road, especially around here, because it's way more, it can take more abuse than asphalt can. However, it's less forgiving when it comes to expansion and contraction. So the second a chunk flies out of it because a big truck, hits something,
it's just
or whatever,
going to keep flaking away.
It's going to keep flaking away. Not only that, but it also settles a lot more slowly. So you start to get ruts in the concrete. So they had to resurface it by basically shaving off a layer off the top of it. And any cracks that appear, they fill with cold patch asphalt, and it lasts about a month because cold patch is just raw asphalt, not heated up or anything. They just dump it in and stamp it down. They don't roll it over or anything like that. And when you mix asphalt and concrete, different expansion and contraction, so it's still going to flake apart. It's not actually fixing
Plus the
it.
vibration of the cars going over the top of it starts shaking it loose again.
Yep. Just like the M25. The section of the M25 near me is laid in what appears to be concrete sections, right, which are separated by a little, I suppose it's tarmac. They put the liquid tar down in between the cracks, sort of thing. And that section runs for about 15 mile, and then it turns back to asphalt.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the fucking point? A
Yep.
road is one or the other.
It would be, but it's funny because I can see the line when you cross over into Connecticut, which I do every day that I work. I cross over into Connecticut, and there is a line in the asphalt of where one state paves up to, and it just goes, and then it's the other state's responsibility. Same thing with plowing and everything else. All the plows, the first exit, they exit that ramp and then drive around and then get back on and go the other way. So they plow right up to the state line. Ooh, that was a risky one. You better wipe it.
I am. I'll wipe. I have manners.
There you go. Good job. Oh, son of a bitch is not working. Of course it's not.
Oh, thank you, Streaming Elements. We love you
I'll try logging
so
back in.
much.
Try logging back in. Hold on.
That's all right. So just leave it. Continue.
So
I didn't mean to derail.
So, certain states use certain things for their anti-icing, right? So, Massachusetts uses like a brine that's basically just like salt water, essentially.
Yep.
There's
Massive Massachusetts.
they were using for a time a chemical spray, but they found out that it is really bad for the roads.
And
Well,
no
I'm
doubt
not
the environment.
Yeah, so, and the environment and the road surface itself.
There we go.
There we go. Oh, thank God. No itchy butthole.
I was just about to say that my ass won't be itchy. Get out my head.
Dude, you and I said the same thing last night, and I was like, oh my God. Shit.
Yep.
But, yeah, anyways, long story short here is that the money that is supposed to go for one thing definitely doesn't go for that thing. And we can't do anything about it. What are we going to do? Cause a big stink? Drive up to the Capitol and go...
You mean exercise your First Amendment rights?
I know, right? Who would have thunk? People are more concerned about what's going on in Israel and Ukraine right now. See more people up in arms about that than what's going on locally. And that is, I think, the more disturbing part, because it shows that people that have a situation that has nothing to do with our lives is affecting people more than what's affecting us in our daily life. And I think that's really what the news and the distraction companies really want to push, is their version of the distraction, right? Yeah. Mongering in the form of fear and or war.
The military has to have their budget before anything else.
Oh, and they do. Trust me, they do. But,
Our armed forces are getting a bigger budget this year. I know that.
but what are they doing? You're not involved in any conflicts right now, so what are they doing with that
Yeah,
money?
we are.
Well,
We've carried out campaigns now.
are you going to Iran? Where are you going? What?
Yeah, we've carried out a campaign in shit. Basically, we have been involved. We have been involved in action, the same action that you guys have.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're involved, or if we're involved, then you're involved, pretty much.
We've been pulled into it now because they were actually talking about possible conscription over here.
Jesus
It'll never
Christ.
happen. But yeah, they were talking about it because some military dude over here calculated that our armed services at the moment of normal intake is not enough to keep any kind of military campaigns going. So
What?
he was talking about possible conscription, but the politicians poo-pooed it.
I was actually talking about
Said
that with...
conscription will never be a thing again.
Yeah. I was talking about that with Sam because I'm saying how in the next decade, we're going to see a huge decline in people joining the armed forces, because the work ethic and the thought process of the kids nowadays is not of, well, I don't want to go to college, I'll join the military. It's, I don't want to go to college, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to do anything, I'm going to be a freaking bum.
Really, what it should be is, I don't want to go to war.
I don't blame you there. Yeah, I mean, definitely agree with you. I don't want to fight a war that I don't agree with, but you know, some people see that paycheck and go, "Ooh, $20,000
Sorry,
sign-on
so-
bonus. I'm gonna buy a sports car."
I mean, people get called naive for saying this, but I mean, it's not naive. It's just the way it fucking should be. The actual people that have the disagreement should be the ones fighting each other.
No, no, that's never gonna be how it works. We are America, world police, and we poke our little nose into every little thing that's going on around us to protect our assets. And you guys do the same thing.
And
Because-
our military budget.
The budget is going to be what it is, no matter what. They're going to keep increasing the budget, no matter what, because it is the world's biggest waste of money.
It's
if you
also
think
the
about it.
world's biggest fucking criminal act.
Because if
They put so much money into black fucking projects and get other companies involved so that they get round the red tape of Freedom of Information Act
If you think
requests
about
and
it-
stuff.
if you think about it, the military is basically our country's biggest security force, and they're protecting our assets. And they're defending our assets. So, like, basically, if we have something that we need protected, we will poke our nose into any conflict that happens in that area. If it's oil, we're there. If it's money, we're there. If it's whatever, we're there. There's some shit going on, which is why we give so much money to Ukraine. We're protecting
Have they-
something.
Have
Yeah,
they
look how that turned
actually
out.
noticed how many billionaires and major conglomerations are actually moving their money from the west to the east?
Yeah.
You know,
Did you hear the recent one as well? So many people in the Ukraine authorities and government have been arrested for embezzling at least 40 million of the aid that they were given. They embezzled it.
Yep.
thank you. Thanks,
I was
Jane.
just trying to work out how to do that.
For some reason, I don't have. Oh, I do have mod icons on. What the hell? I think because it was a first time chat, it didn't show up. Thanks, Jane.
Yeah, it didn't have for me, but now it does.
Yeah, she's on it. Good job.
Go fuck yourself.
Good job. Good job. Hey, Amanda.
Hey,
Sure, that
Amanda.
who's boss, right? Eric got that message and was like, "Oh, I've got an artist that I work with, and this and that," like talking to said bot.
The bot's already fucked off.
And he invited him to the Discord or something, and the bot
Ooh.
sent a message to the Discord, and it was just a link. And I'm like, don't click that link. Do not click that link.
No, never click the link.
So, yeah, welcome in, Amanda. We're talking politics. Yay, yay.
Fun times.
But yeah, essentially, the military is going to get their budget because we have to protect our assets. We are still in the realm of making our empires, right? America has investments all over the world.
Mhm.
The UK has investments all over the world, little pockets, and we're basically investing in these small countries and basically doing what it takes to make our lives easier. So if it's a shipping lane that cuts off a week of time, between here and there, and makes it so that little Timmy can get his, toys and stuff for Christmas, then we're going to protect that. And I don't think it's always about the people, because it's never about the people. It's about the actual politicians and their investments. It's scary that American politicians can be invested in companies like that, and also that they can.
Halliburton.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They can. The second they're not in a political role anymore, can take on a position at a company as a vice president or a CEO or a CFO or whatever, i.e., what's his name when he went to Pfizer?
Oh, Scott.
Scott Gottlieb.
That's the one.
Was it Pfizer? I forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so immediately after leaving his position, saying he needs to spend more time with his family. Yeah, bullshit. No, you're going to be a gigantic salaried person over at a huge conglomeration. It's bullshit. Read between the lines, people.
They're the biggest criminals, but they get away with it.
Yeah. We need a complete clean out of the government. That's what I'm saying. Everybody just gone. Kick them out. We need term limits. Hello. Term limits.
I'm
So
still
fair, it's not just your government; it's the world leaders all
Yeah.
told.
I'm still convinced Robin Williams was right, and the Constitution was read wrong. It was you have the right to arm bears.
Yeah. Let's do that. It would be my second favorite thing. The culling.
Yeah.
I think we should just have a political death match.
No, just do the annual binge.
Right? Yeah.
I think what the world needs is for the film The Purge to actually happen.
Well, this is like The Purge, but only more fun.
Ooh, I had a fun
Get
theory.
rid of a lot of idiots.
I had a fun theory here. So Sam was saying how one of his friends is in the Space Force, I think,
No
or
way.
something
No
like.
way.
Yeah.
Sam knows a space cadet.
So
Who the
America
fuck?
has made something called the Space Force, and it's another branch of
It's
the
huge. It's
military.
Huge.
And I love the training videos. We might have to play a training video because they're hilarious.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of nerds.
It's a bunch of nerds climbing over freaking logs. I think
Yeah.
we might have even played one on here before.
We did.
Yeah, we
We
definitely
played
did.
one before. It literally was all nerds. It wasn't like, here's America's best and brightest. It was just,
Oh well, look. Those kids are
How
probably
about
super
space?
smart. They could probably code like you've never seen.
sorry, Mike.
Fucking
Look at me, mama. I'm going to space.
You've killed Mike. Look what you've done.
oh, that fucking hurt.
Don't laugh too hard, Mike. Your back will hurt, dude.
They're going to give me a laser gun.
Okay,
I'm
no,
going to fight the aliens.
so my theory is that we're training these kids to be the next, like, space warriors, right?
Buck Rogers.
Stop it! So they're gonna be drone pilots and satellite engineers and whatnot, and they're gonna basically guide our space weapons, because that's the next frontier. That's the one place that we haven't
The final
quite.
frontier.
No, I don't think that's the final frontier. Even, just wait. We're gonna have war on Mars soon.
Hang on,
Yeah,
that's already
space
happened.
Karens.
Space Karens. Oh God.
War on Mars has already happened.
But you
Yeah,
see,
right.
this is supposedly the first step in what a lot of people are thinking is a big conspiracy theory, that this is the Space Force was established to as the first part in the plan of creating a new military agenda, which is, we don't have to worry about foreign adversaries, we need to worry about adversaries from up there now.
No,
They're the biggest threat now, so we need even more money to
Don't
protect
tell me.
our country.
Don't tell me the Major General of the Space Force is Eric von Daniken.
Oh fuck no. Giorgio Tsoukalos.
So
I'm not saying it's the biggest space force in the
God.
world.
I'm saying it's aliens. But we're gonna put laser weapons. I don't know about lasers or whatever. We're gonna put weapons
they've
on
been
satellites.
They've been up there since the 80s already anyway.
Why not make them into weapons?
High energy beam weapons have been a thing since Star Wars. Not the
Right.
movies, folks.
Yes, I know. God damn it. So yeah, but now with the evolving, military tactics, which are using drones, like not even big drones like Reapers. I'm saying little tiny drones, like just
Yep.
consumer drones with frickin' C4 strapped to them, or grenades, 'cause that's a thing. There's going to be people that are manning satellites that are going to be able to snipe those drones out of the sky and either disable them or blow them up before they get to their target. And that's what the Space Force is all about, because the higher
They
ups
won't even
know.
need to worry about that because they'll have an AI doing it for them pretty soon.
Oh God, I hope not.
That'll go well.
But here's the thing.
Can anyone say Skyhook?
Oh God,
Skynet?
Skynet. Yeah. The thing is, people worry about a domestic threat, right? Like that's why like people in like militias or whatever, like groups of people that are anti-government and all that, are afraid of the government takeover and them trying to come and take their guns.
And their gerbs.
What they should be worried about is a freaking drone coming in and just going, boom. And
I know, but they don't worry about that. You know, just look at what happened with the Chinese fucking balloons.
yeah,
They don't even care. Oh, we'll just leave them there. See if they do anything.
eventually we shot them down with a freaking F-22 Raptor. But
Eventually, when you
it was an
realise, oh, it's just a
F-35.
balloon.
yeah,
But they
well,
left it there for like days.
yeah, it made its way halfway across the country.
Mm-hmm.
More than halfway.
Just left it with, just to.
Well, I think someone
about its
finally was
business.
like, "Hey, we should probably do something about that." Like,
It was probably some fucking hick from the south was just like, I'll get it for you.
there were people trying to shoot at it, but yeah,
Doesn't surprise me.
America. There are times I'm glad I'm old. The future is not as bright as we thought it would be.
No.
We have to deal with a domestic threat of the potential of drone attacks, and that's the freakiest part, because you can't hear them coming until they're too close, and they're small enough to fit in a backpack, and they're deadly enough to take out at least one person at a time. Just boom. There's footage, if you haven't seen it. There is footage out there of what's going on in Ukraine, and it's terrifying.
Yep.
It is scary because it's just a little like, boom, and then person drops.
Or goes in several different directions.
But that is the future, and it's crazy to see what's going on in Ukraine, because there's literally trench warfare, but they're just throwing drones at each other now.
Yep. That is scary shit, man.
And they don't even have to be very technologically advanced, and anyone can fly one with a frickin' iPhone.
The thing is, I mean, compared to the cost of, a military grade drone, those ones, cheap as chips.
Cheap as chips and easy to control. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be a specialized operator to be able to handle a drone like that.
Yeah.
And not only that, they have the simplest of mechanisms. The most basic ones are literally just a Phantom, DJI Phantom,
Yep.
with an actuator that's just a little pinchy thing, and basically all it does is tie the pin to the actual body of the drone and then release, and the pin gets pulled as the grenade falls. When grenade falls to the ground, goes boom, can take out a couple guys in a trench, and they just hover over top and just boop. So they're gonna have to have like anti-drone weaponry, which is gonna be something that can fry a circuit from a distance, which is gonna be energy
EMP.
weapons. Yeah.
EMP. Yep.
Focused EMPs.
Well, I know
Which are
finally,
already, I think, anyway.
that the British government are getting rid of the SA-80.
Thank God. The V2 wasn't
They're
as
now-
bad.
They're now getting the SIG 556.
Yeah, because America is getting those. Or SIG, yeah. Yep. SIG is the new weapon. I mean, you guys
What,
have
fuck,
had an M4 platform for a while, and I think we did talk about this. But it's just making it more cohesive between the two forces, so that way we can share parts and stuff. It's just an easy weapon to break down. It's a pretty simple operation. Still, it's the more accurate version of something like an AK-47, which is like the opposing force has AKs, which are way more reliable in the field. Like you could literally shove dirt and mud into the chamber of that thing and down the barrel, soak it for a week in water, and pick it up and shoot it. No problem. No problem at all. The problem with the AK platform right now is that they're still dealing with really old ammunition, less than reliable, from the 60s. Just they have a stockpile of millions and millions of rounds, and they're still burning through that. But there's a lot more duds. There's a lot more, misfires and other problems. So it's not necessarily the weapon system. It's the ammunition that's going to be the problem there. But that's saying conventional weaponry. We're not even talking about conventional weaponry. That's why we're switching to drones.
Hello.
Cheap enough where you can buy millions of them and strap weapons to them and just keep blowing them up.
Yep.
But it's the weirdest thing to look at footage because it's literally trenches, dug out trenches that they're fighting in, and then throwing drones at each other. So it's like the 40s.
It's World War 1.3.
Yeah, it's the 1940s mixed with the 2040s. You know what I mean? It's the strangest thing. And you look at like video games, the implications in like near future video games like Call of Duty, and like they sort of had an educated guess at where things were going to go, but never really thought they thought that everything would just kind of increase in technology, and that's not the case.
And I wonder how many of the new soldiers are going to think, yeah, they can take me out. I'll just respawn further down the line.
Oh God, that's oh boy, that's the next thing, right?
Avatars.
Yep.
Well, I'm just waiting for mech suits to come into play.
Well, apparently, this is one of the things that the military and private contractors are already looking into, like the likes of Boston Dynamics.
Yeah. Exoskeleton.
They're looking into like mechanized, like robots, so that you can use them as avatars and send them in instead of live soldiers. They can
Robot
just keep
wars.
pumping out these fucking drone soldiers, and just have one guy sitting there controlling them.
Oh, that's terrifying. It's gonna be robot wars. It's and we
Until
spend
the day that the robots decide we're not fighting your war,
yeah. Oh
we'll
God.
fight you instead.
Just don't put them heads on the loose. Yeah. He's gone rogue.
You have 20 seconds to comply.
So, yeah, that's, in my opinion, that's going to be the future, is going to be things where people aren't even involved. Who's got the better robots? That's what it's going to come down to. And who's got the better
China.
anti-robot technology, you know what I mean?
China.
One EMP will take out the whole battlefield. But, we invest billions and billions of dollars into something like the F-35 program. And it's like, what's the point? It's one fighter. You have air superiority. It's a cool fighter.
A publicly acknowledged amount of billions, but it's probably more than that.
But we
because
can't.
they're looking into other things as well.
Oh yeah, we can't get away with what they used to, right? Like Skunk Works back in the day when Groom Lake came into play.
They still can. They still can.
Yeah, you still can to a point.
There's more players involved now.
But they just have to go underground. That's what they have to do. Those hangars are just shells for elevators that can lift heavy objects up many floors.
I mean, it's no longer conspiracy theory now. It's well established that the US and other governments have been quietly harvesting technologies from elsewhere
Of course.
and using it for their own advantage. But the way they get around it is they license the research and development and back engineering to other companies outside of the military, because then they're not under public oversight.
Yeah.
They don't have to answer to anybody else, and the public can't therefore do the Freedom of Information Act request,
Oh yeah.
because the private contractor can go, nope, we're protected by patents and
Yep.
all the rest of it.
Yep.
So they literally can get away with anything they want.
I'll still say my favourite fighter plane is the Blackbird.
Oh man, yeah. That
was
plane
just
just screams
gorgeous.
the 1960s. It's like the
But
perfect.
it still looks gorgeous though,
Yeah.
even to this day.
It's the perfect representation of what the 1960s looked like in a plane form, because it's sleek but not like overly sleek. It's got smooth angles and stuff, and it's just such a good looking aircraft. And then the pilot,
obnoxious jet engines.
oh yeah, dude. But the pilot has to wear a spacesuit, and that is super like 60s era kind of look.
Yeah.
I love that. But like from the pilot's seat, it's cramped. First of all, you can't be too tall for that plane or too big for that plane. Like there's very specific requirements to be an SR-71 pilot, and you have to, when you get up there, you really can't move around or see much. So unfortunately, you can't really take in the whole view. But what you do have on board is cameras that can zoom in, and you can see the expression on someone's face.
Yep. You can read the headline on a newspaper.
From like 70,000 feet up. So much that you can see the curvature of the Earth in the outer atmosphere. If there was a top window on that plane, you could just look into space.
Yep.
But it's a bitch to fly.
I can imagine.
It's a bitch to take off and land. You need, like, the requirement is the longest runway in the world. It's like, it has to be like 2.5 miles of runway, I think, just to get the fucker off the ground and to slow it down in time to stop. That is well, I mean, you figure it's a freaking spacecraft, technically.
Yeah.
Well, the next generation's going to be able to go into space.
Not only that, but on the point of the drones, right? They're working on prototypes of using commercial aircraft and like heavy lifting aircraft to be basically a drone mothership.
Yeah.
Think about that, where you can store a few hundred of those drones at a time and just go, release the swarm.
Just deploy them.
Yeah.
What was that huge people carrier plane you had?
Well, there's a C5 Galaxy, or 747.
Bigger than the 747.
C5 is huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen mock-ups of a 747 with drones. Probably going to be something like that, or even bigger, perhaps. But like the Russians have the biggest cargo plane in the world currently. That thing is huge. But just hundreds, if not thousands, of these little drones just going out, and I mean, that's where I think AI could come into play, is set them on a path and a target. I've watched a video recently about the technology that would allow these drones to be autonomous, where you can set them on a path and say anyone in this area is hostile, so it can look for heat signatures or radio or whatever. Like, it can look for certain types of signals and just go
Technically, it doesn't need AI as such. It's just the right algorithm, and you can have it pre-programmed.
Yep, and they've already tested it, and it works. And that's even more scary.
Because I mean, you look at the displays that they can do nowadays with drones. You know, where
Oh, yeah.
they create a picture. You know, 3D images. You know, that's just pre-programmed algorithms.
But
You know,
to
it
have them
says
be
if this one's here, then you should be here.
to have them be semi-autonomous, though, where you set them on a path, and from there they do what they got to do. And I think they set out a test flight of like 100 drones from point A to point B, and they just set them out, and they were basically supposed to go to the checkpoint, turn around, and come back. And I think out of those, and this was out of like radio signal and everything, so they couldn't reach the drones when they were out of their signal range or what have you. And I think out of like the 100 drones, like 97 made it back or something. There's a couple that
odds.
just kind of went, but
It's good odds, though.
shit happens. We should all be scared, more scared than we should be, but not like to the point that it's like constant fear sort of thing. I'm more scared of our government using this technology on domestic.
I'm not scared. I'm really not scared anymore. It's just to the point where if it's going to happen, it's going to fucking happen.
Exactly.
Fuck all any of us can do about it.
Exactly.
Oh, this is true. Well, that's the part of the problem, right? Like one of the things about the first or the Second Amendment is that we are meant to be able to defend ourselves in the threat of in defense of threats foreign and domestic. The domestic part scares me more than the foreign part does.
Yep. By rights, you are allowed to take arms against your own government, but nobody's gonna.
Because the government keeps trying to suppress that, and the government has more technology than us and more money than us. So how are we supposed to defend against that? Oh, well, we can't have a M134 minigun, so I guess that's out. I mean, you can, but you'd have to sign up for so many
Doesn't
different
help when
licenses.
you're indoctrinating kids, like since grade school, though, to have every faith in the government.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the American way. You're not patriotic unless, you believe in the system.
Yep. Well, I was about to say you're one of the only countries that does that, but you're not. You're not. There's many countries around the world that do it.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, just leave fucking politics out of schools until you're an
Please.
adult. You shouldn't have that in the back of your head at all. You shouldn't have to be patriotic at that age.
Just like we shouldn't have Jesus in our schools either, because there's supposed to be
I totally agree. I totally
separation
agree.
of that too.
Exactly.
No one today's James
Exactly.
right. No one today's taught to think for themselves.
No
And
one's
that's-
allowed to be.
The problem is what they teach in the schools isn't actually life skills. It's just compliance skills, essentially. It's like, okay, here's the basic stuff. Don't go and be a free thinker. Don't be expressive. Just be a part of the hive.
sheep.
Yeah. Be a sheep. Be in the herd. Busy bee. They want worker bees.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make money for the betterment of our country. And if that means just get a job so that a politician looks good, dropping in unemployment rates, then that's what that means. They don't teach us life skills. They don't teach us how to change a tire on a car. They don't teach us how to do our taxes. They don't teach us how to balance a checkbook. Not that you need that skill anymore nowadays. Like, so many people don't know how to do that. That's the thing. People don't know how to budget. People don't know how to manage their money. Kids today can barely figure out, because, like, okay, example. When I'm at my job, people give me money for, if let's say the total comes out to $17. Now, if someone hands me $20, I have to give them 3 $1 bills as change. Now, some people will be smart about it, and if they have like an extra $2 in their pocket, they'll give me $22, in which case I'd give them a $5 bill back. And sometimes it'll be like, hey, I'm short on ones. You know, do you have any like ones that you could give me? Like, you have 2 ones, so I can give you a 5. And they're like, huh? I gave you 20. And it's like, no, I get that, but like, do you have an extra couple of ones so that I could give you a $5 bill back instead of 2? They don't know what to do in that situation. They're like, I don't know. It's like, oh my god, it's basic math. It's practically Common Core if you think about it. That is basically what Common Core math is. It's building up to a more common ground than just the math the way it is, right?
When I was at school, I did not understand math in the slightest. Right? You've all heard me say that I got kicked out of math because the teacher called me thick in the class, so I threw my chair at him.
Mike
The
Rebel.
only thing that taught me to do math was when I got a job on the London buses.
Given change.
And I had to learn how to count to obviously to give people the right change.
Yeah, it became a necessary life skill
Yeah.
then. Yep.
Don't get me started on how stupid youth is today.
Especially American youth.
Jane, that's this entire show is bitching. Not really. We like to have fun.
We all
But
know that
yeah.
the American education system is the worst in the world.
So when they started Common Core math, I was so confused by the whole concept. Like, why are you teaching kids to do math that isn't involved in their math? And it's like, okay, Common Core math is basically 2 + 2 is 4, but it's not. It's 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. That's what it is. That's what the real simple breakdown of what that is. The way they're teaching math now is making people a little math illiterate. I feel like sometimes if you hand someone a 20 and then realize, hey, I have $2 and hand them $2 extra, they can't. Ooh. They cannot equate the change of $5. They go, oh, here's your $2 back, instead of, no, it's like, oh no, you're good. Here's your $2 back, instead of going, oh, you gave me 22 so that I could give you a 5 back. That's the whole thing. Is like they just don't understand the concept of that. You know.
You're right, Jane. Ours isn't much better now. It
No.
used to be, though. It used to be.
I mean, nowadays I believe they've made fucking trigonometry and shit like that part of the GCSEs.
Well, it was when I was in school.
It wasn't when I was. Or unless they didn't call it trigonometry.
Yeah,
So-
algebra and trig.
I got away with. I say I got away with because I was going to a tech school half day, so I only ever had to do.
Thought that, Jane.
I only ever had to do the basics. So I had to do a math class, an English class, and a gym class, because that was, who did that? One of our like presidents from like the 60s or 70s like noticed that our kids were getting fat and was like, okay, well, now gym is required for every student at least once a week. They had to take a gym class. So that was
Probably
one of my
Nixon.
required classes. Yeah, probably. Fat little kids.
Yeah.
Fat little children's.
He
So-
didn't realise how fat he was.
Right. But
I'm not a fat bastard.
so we always will have to have gym class at least once a week. So
The only PE lessons I ever went to was 10-pin bowling or
That's awesome.
weightlifting.
okay.
You're not going to believe this, but I loved PE because
I
I
love
got to
PE
play
too.
basketball.
I love PE. I actually, back in the day, I voluntarily used to go to the school gym after school. Like, I don't know why.
Same here. I
was like-
would go there. I would go there every extra. Like if I had a free period, I was in the gym playing basketball.
What was I thinking?
Intervals in the gym.
We'll see, Amanda.
Lunch in the gym.
Yeah. I mean,
Just playing basketball.
so the only math classes that I ever had to take were Algebra 1 and 2, Geometry, and I think that's it. What was it? I don't think there was a specialized math class when I was in was it ninth grade? So what would that be for you guys, like the ninth year of school?
Ninth, second year.
Okay.
Ninth? Ninth.
Ninth, second year, because you've set primary up to primary 7, and then first year, second year.
No, down here it's year 7 is the first year of secondary school.
So you only have 6 primaries?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you do
Yeah,
like...
in
You always had
England,
7?
no, in England it's year 6 is the last primary year.
Oh,
Year
right,
7
okay.
is the first
Okay.
secondary year. And then it goes up to year 10, and then year 11 is what used to be the sixth form.
Okay.
I think we've triggered
Yeah,
Jane
it was.
here.
We had 7 primaries and then 6 high school years.
Jane
You only had to
says,
do 4, but it was up to 6.
she says, it's not the winning that counts, it's the taking part. Wrong, it's the fucking winning. Yeah, there is no more winning and losing in school, even like, you know, well, younger sports, it's like, good job, participation trophies all around. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Soapbox now, nice. But yeah, I hate the whole participation trophy thing. It's debasing the human spirit, you know. There's no more winning and losing. There's no more like, you know, celebrating a win. You, like, even with school sports and stuff, like, you can't celebrate for like after like someone scores or something like that. You have to be like humble about it, and if you celebrate too much, then you get penalized for it. Yeah, if you like spike the ball at a football game, then you know you're
I was
gonna...
playing basketball, and it would be like just leaving that up there.
You'd get
celebrating that shot.
you would get a technical foul for that nowadays.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I seen it.
Street rules, motherfucker.
Yeah, not the case, man. That doesn't happen. But like, you know, we're not taught to be like manly anymore either. You know, there's the whole thing of like shop class and home ec and everything. It's like I took home ec. I didn't have shop class.
So did I.
I like home ec. It's fine. I
Yeah.
didn't mind it because I learned some pretty useful skills. Home ec, they made us do some sewing. We had to learn how to stitch something. I learned some stitches. I learned something.
A bit of cooking as well.
Little cooking. Yep, I like that. That was fun.
I
A
bet for me,
little home budgeting.
Well,
That's what we get taught anyway.
see, I wish we got that. I don't think we got that. I would have liked that. I would have been.
as I say, my home ec was just cooking.
See,
I
high
did
school
that
was
in year
actually
7 and 8.
back then. The high school I went to was one of the good ones.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a hole now, and you have to walk through security.
Yeah. Yeah, year 7 and 8 was home ec for me, and year 7 was a regular teacher. Year 8 was a supply teacher that turned out to be one of my friend's dads.
nice. But you know, I wish we could learn more of that, more life skills than maths and English. Like, when am I ever going to use anything that I learned in English class besides how to read? You know, teach me how to read, fine. Let me go on my way and see if I like reading. I am not a reader.
Well, you know, there's the proper grammar and all that.
Oh, well, yeah, but no one uses it anymore. Good Lord. The
No.
state of this country right
Thank
now.
you, text speak.
Bruh.
Like,
Yeah.
People that
Let's
say
not bother
lol.
using any. Let's not use any full stops anymore.
the only thing,
Sorry, periods.
the
I
only
know
thing
what
that
that is.
pisses
I
me
know
off
you
about
know. Just in
reading,
case there's other Americans watching.
the thing that pisses me off about reading and that is literally when someone doesn't word a letter correctly or phrase a letter correctly. That winds me up. The rest of it, I couldn't give a fuck about.
So,
One thing the British are good at, writing a really good letter.
so Sam, I keep bringing Sam up. This is the Sam episode. So Sam was talking to one of our regular customers, and we're just having a natter, and he was like, no one writes letters anymore. And she's like, you know what? You're right. And this is Sam, who is like 26, 27 now. And this is like 50-year-old woman. Like, very different people. But they both agreed that, like, no one writes letters, like, anymore. Like, just casually. You know, the U.S. postal system is only used for bills, junk mail, and...
Because you can just go online and get something to do it for you now.
And it's just instantaneous, you know, messaging. So...
It's like CVs.
Well, okay. Hold on. Let me finish my thought. So, they have, since that day, started being pen pals. Now, this is a woman that comes in the shop at least once a week for her...
Respect that.
Her stuff. But... they now write letters back and forth.
That's cool as fuck, man.
Yeah, I mad respect because
Yeah,
it's just something that's taking initiative. It's totally unnecessary because he can talk to her anytime, right?
Yeah.
And they have since just been corresponding through letters back and forth for the past couple years. And it's just a nice thing, you know. It means someone's thinking about you.
Yeah, that's cool as fuck, man.
Yeah. So props to Sam for that.
Yeah.
I even write an email in letter form.
Of course,
Same.
but are you
Same
even
here.
taught that anymore? Do we even know how to do like subject and lines and everything? Breaks.
It always used to be like in my school. It was like office studies and modern studies that would teach you that kind of stuff.
We were taught how to do an appendix with the sources. You had to list all your sources for a paper that you had to write, like an essay, where you had to name all your sources, and if you didn't get the
Oh yeah, we'd do that in English class.
context and everything right,
We'd do that kind of stuff in
you
English
got marked
class.
down. Yeah, Jane's now on about manners. Yeah, there's no manners anymore, and that's just in the general public. It's not even the kids today; it's everyone. And I think that's a post-COVID thing.
The way kids these days talk to teachers and everything now, it's
any elder, their grandparents,
respect.
and any elder, they have no respect. But the problem is, right? The problem is it's so hard to do things like that because nowadays we're not taught to, you know, even gender people. Like I can't use pronouns for people at work because someone might take offense to it. So it's
thousands of years old habit. So
I know
it's a hard one to get out of.
It's a tough one to get out of, right? And it's like, don't get me wrong, I will respect your pronouns, but I'm not going to try to guess your pronouns because, you know, I can't do that. So you know what I do instead? I just go, "How you doing today?" instead of "Hello, sir," "Hello, ma'am." And we have a guy at my job that is a former Marine, and he was taught respect. That's one thing the military will give you is respect.
Yep.
And he says, "Sir and ma'am."
Sure,
And I had to kind of be like, "Hey, you got to be careful with that because some people could take offense." And he's just like, "Well, what the fuck? Like, I was taught manners. I was taught to respect, you know, people by, you know, calling them as it's a form of respect, you know."
In a weird way, it's doing exactly the thing that he's expected to do now. He's not assuming the name of the person.
Right.
You know, it's not assuming the name of a person and saying, you know, that's why you say sir or ma'am, because you're not going to say, "Hey, mister."
Yeah.
You know, or "Hey, missus."
I just had to be like, you got to be
then
careful.
that's assuming that she's married or, you know, blah, blah, blah.
No discipline. I'm a dinosaur. Pronouns can go fuck off unless you inform me. Even then, I may forget. This is also true. And the fact that if you slip up, you get thrown under the bus and labeled as someone that's, you know, transphobic or what have you. And that's happened to me before. I literally, I didn't even form a word. And
That's right, yeah.
One of my freaking employees was like, "Oh," and I was like, because I went instead of going they.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oof." They're like, oh, and I was like, no, that's not what that was. I didn't even form the word. Okay, I had a half of a word in there, and I got
There's
called
people
out
losing their
instantly
fucking-
and called a transphobe. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
People losing jobs over it now.
Yep.
Like, you can call me an asshole all you want, but I'm not transphobic.
Mhm.
I don't hate unless you give me a reason to.
I
And
don't give a fuck if you're male, female, or a fucking toaster. Just tell me what you are.
and please be forgiving if I do slip up,
Yeah.
because human nature, it's going to take years and years of programming to erase that sort of
like I
language.
says, thousands and thousands of years of programming that there were only two.
Right. And
Now,
I mean,
after thousands and thousands of years, it's like, nope, there's more than two.
but more on the topic
Okay.
of manners, respect, vocabulary, all that stuff. Like, this is part of it, right? Like, we're trying to relearn a language that we've been ingrained in our head. But the bottom line is, it's about respect. Because if you
Yeah.
do something in a manner with respect, then you shouldn't be called out, right? You can apologize and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And that should be forgiven. But God, everyone is on pins and needles nowadays.
Mhm.
And not only that, everyone is so
It's-
short-tempered with things like that. And not only just that, but just in
Yeah.
general. People walk into my store on their phone, and I don't engage with people on their phone. I don't. They can walk in on the phone all they want. I'm not going to help you until you hang up. Or at
Yeah.
least look me in the goddamn eye before you point to what you want. That's not happening. It's not how that
Instead of
works.
doing the
Because I've literally had people like they look at me and they just go and they point. I'm like, nah, not happening. This is, it may not be my shop, but at the end of the day, I'm the one working here and you're the one being rude. The fact that people come in with their, and not even on the phone, they'll have just the buds in and they'll just be yapping away to someone on the phone and I'll think they're talking to me. It'll be like, hello. And they're just like, you know, my mind just explodes and I just instantly want to rip their freaking head off because they're being so rude. But that's just commonplace nowadays, over here at least.
yeah.
So common
Yeah.
for people
Gonna-
to just accept rudeness, and I think that needs to stop.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And the fact that, like, how can you even imagine? And people are now, I've said this before, people apologize to the person on the other end of the phone for being in the shop. It's like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm in the store. Hold on a second. Yeah, can I get this? It's like, get off the fucking phone. It's not that important. Nothing is that important that you need to be on the phone 24/7. Stop it. Human behavior.
At least they've got the tiniest bit of respect enough to go, sorry, can I have, at least they've came
At
away
least
from the call
apologize
for a
to me
split
for being
second.
on the phone.
Yeah.
Don't apologize to the person on the other end of the phone. Apologize to me for being on the phone.
Yeah.
That's, since when is that acceptable in our culture? Like, we live in a society here. But, this is damn
me.
kids. It's not just the kids, though. It's adults. It's 100% adults, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'd say the majority. Honestly, to be honest with you, I get more adults on the phone being rude than I do kids. And I
But
say
there are
kids,
certainly-
21-year-olds.
I bet those ones are of a certain age group, though, a certain age gap.
Yeah. It's like 30 to 40-year-olds.
Because they're the first generation of the mobile.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. It's because I've grown up with a phone in my hand my entire life, so I'm going to
Yep.
use it as much as I can because
Yep.
this is technology and this is a good thing. I'm all for technology.
I was given this as a toddler, therefore it is a part of me.
It's the thing where, I grew up with a phone. I got a phone when I was 17, And there was a lot of kids in my school that had phones before I did. But I've had a phone since I was 17 years old. And I grew up having to pay 10 cents per text message. I've grown up and had the invention of Bluetooth wireless earbud technology.
Yep.
And where it makes it just that much easier to be on the phone.
Yep.
But now we're reverting backwards, right? Because we have this technology. But people instead go on speakerphone and just hold their phone out like
that
this.
That is the ultimate in obnoxiousness.
Like, don't get me wrong. I only
I
do
don't want
that.
to be a part of anyone else's conversation on the phone.
The only way I do that is on a Saturday when I go shopping, and I call Jenny, or Jenny calls me after work, and we talk for about an hour while I go shopping. And it's just that I don't have any buds on me.
That's
at the
fair
time.
enough. That's fair enough. But I mean,
But-
if you have them and you still choose to fucking sit there like that,
Here's the thing with that. We don't even conversate that much. It's just kind of a comfort thing, more or less. It's just kind of,
Yeah.
you're there, I'm here, we're
Yeah.
doing the thing together. And like, we might talk back about
instead of being
like,
a voice in the ear.
yeah. But here's the
I
thing
get
is,
that.
the thing is, I don't interact with other people. And that's kind of the reason Jenny's there with me, is so that I don't have to interact with other people. I go, Jenny, what should I
Yeah.
get for snacks? And I don't, if I have to talk to someone, I put the phone down. And I go,
Yep.
excuse me, where can I find, this or that? I say yes. I say, yes, please. I say, you're welcome. I say, thank you. So
Yep.
much of that is lost.
And I remember doing a job once on the coaches, and I forget where I was actually going, but sitting right behind me was, I'd say, early to mid-20s female, and she was on the phone, and she put it on loudspeaker, so she's gabbing away right behind me. I've got the other party, the other end of the phone, gabbing right behind me. And then all of a sudden they just changed the conversation to, did they enjoy anal sex or something?
Okay.
Yeah. And then when she hung up, she said, oh sorry, driver, you didn't mind me having that conversation, do you? I said, no, love, I just wish you'd had it on personal call, because I really don't need to know that you like it up the poop chute.
You'd be like, here's my phone number. Call me anytime. Yeah, I mean,
All right.
just the public rudeness is mind-blowing to me. Jane says, I grew up on no technology. Calculators were not a thing till my last year of school, and fucking expensive. And that's the thing, is technology is making us stupider because we don't have to have maths knowledge because we have a calculator in our pocket. We don't have to have English knowledge because we could Google
How
Who
many
wrote-
telephone numbers do you remember?
who wrote any
Other than
book.
your own?
Oh yeah, that's also true. I mean, that's just
I remember my cousin's telephone number
is it
from when I was like
8675309?
6-7 years old. 3779384.
There you go.
I remember my dad's old shop phone number.
That's a random
You
one.
know, you had to though. You had to remember it back then.
Sometimes
I
I forget
remember
my
my
own
old
phone number.
landline number from when I lived in Southfields.
Yeah,
Oh
that
god.
was my cousin's landline number. 3779384.
Now that you mention it, I can't think of my own phone number right now. Oh no, I got it.
2608.
No,
That
I
was
got
my
it.
old telephone number.
I got it. I
My
remember.
old postcode G81 5DN.
I remember those more than I remember phone numbers because I still have to use those to a certain degree. But we don't need to be smart anymore. We have technology for that.
That goes back to what Jane says.
We have a
We
computer.
don't have to think for ourselves now.
Right. We have a computer in our pocket. I'm surprised they teach anything in school. I'm surprised they don't
Yeah.
teach how to use a cell phone in school.
How to Google.
Yeah. And now with the Google, not Google, the Vision Pro, the Apple Vision Pro. You've seen
Ugh.
those?
Yeah.
Those god awful freaking goggles that you wear
Yeah.
with AR. You're gonna see people walking around going like this.
Yeah.
Lord knows what they're looking at, but I don't want to know.
Mm.
I do not want to know.
So have you seen the
Next level rudeness.
you've seen the video of the guy walking around like Manhattan,
Yeah.
and he's just it's like he's out and he's doing all this. He's
Mm-hmm.
having a private rave as he's crossing the road.
Yep. But we live in an
the
era
fuck?
of self-driving cars.
Mm.
I mean, I still can't believe that still to this day most of your vehicles are manual transmission. It's wild to me. Because over here we have Tesla
The
drivers
majority,
that don't
the
know.
majority is manual.
We have Tesla drivers that don't know anything about their car other than how to buy one and how to charge it. Apparently, I mean, I've seen videos of people looking for the fuel tank on a Tesla, and I'm like, I don't think that's how it works.
See, it was like, remember we were talking about this. I think it was last week, funnily enough. Not on here, not on the show, but just chatting about transmissions. And you were saying, I was saying we do have automatic here, but it's better, like saying winter conditions. If you're driving in snow, it's better to have a manual because you have the right gear for the job to get up a snowy hill.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying our automatics do that anyway because it's all one gear.
Well, my
Here it isn't though. It's still
vehicle,
the same amount of gears. It's just the car does it for you.
Yeah.
It changes to like blah blah blah. So in the winter conditions, it might not choose the right gear to get up that snowy hill in an automatic.
Even
But
my car
if
though,
it was one
it
gear,
does.
then it wouldn't matter though.
Right. My car still does have a low and a high. You can. It has the drive, and then I can flip it over to the side, and it's got one or two. So technically, it still has a low and high, if that was
Yeah.
ever an issue. Shane has trust issues, but yeah, the problem is I don't. It's not that I don't trust myself with things like that. I don't trust other people because I've said, I've seen people do some real stupid shit.
It's weird though because after you've done it a couple of times, I mean, I never took my test, but I was learning how to drive, and it didn't actually take me that long to get used to it. And it was the one thing that I was always really worried about. Whenever I thought about having to learn how to drive a car, I was like, no, it's the gears. I cannot get my head around gears. But then I've done it a couple of times, and I was like, oh, that makes sense, yeah. And then done it without thinking.
The hardest thing with learning to drive manual is actually learning the clutch control.
Yeah, I think it's
don't have to worry about that nowadays.
Really?
Don't have to worry about that now. No. Well, you do clutch, you do still, but
You do have to. Yeah,
you do it without
stall.
thinking. It's just off the accelerator onto the clutch.
On the Sam issue,
you
okay.
do it without thinking.
Since this is the Sam episode, I'll mention Sam again. Sam drives a manual. He drives a manual
Respect.
Volkswagen, and he actually opted
Sounds uncomfortable.
to find a manual. What? A Volkswagen.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, only the back seat. But yeah, he actually had to seek out a manual transmission for his car. But again, props to Sam for that. Sam is very. He was born in the wrong decade for sure. Sam
Sounds
deserves
like
to be an 80s
He's
kid.
wiser beyond his years.
Yeah. I mean, shit. He's at the point now that he's about to be
There's more
business
going
owner.
on behind those red eyes.
Yeah. He's doing a lot for himself in his formidable years here, which I'm so super proud of him. And he's opened his eyes, and I think when I met Sam, it seemed like he had a good head on his shoulders, and this is 6 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say now, and he seemed to be, because he was just very damaged. Sam came from history of, you know, some illicit substances, and that's where my boss found him and basically picked him up, gave him an opportunity, and you know, it's really, he's become so much of a better person. And not that he wasn't a good person beforehand, I just think he was just a little misguided and liked to party.
Happens.
But you know, and
Happens.
it seemed like he didn't really have his eyes fully open though to how the world really was, and I've been kind of like teaching him stuff along the way and like just feed him little tidbits of info, and now he's like full blown like reading into stuff beyond what's written in the headlines and all that. Like he shows me half the time the news stories about what's going on in the world, like that the normal news doesn't cover, like how bad the situation is in Ukraine, and like little things like how America is doing some shady shit over in Iran and like stuff like that. And he knew about stuff before the news companies even covered what their version was, and it's like, it's wild. It's cool to see someone that's of that age not trusting the government, because I feel like too many people just fully trust the government and just like accept what everything is in the world as it is read to them, basically.
It's giving a shit though.
Yeah. Well, it's about caring about your own future.
That's what a lot of people don't do, is give a shit.
And it's about caring about your future, and I don't think anyone cares about the future right now. It's just everyone's so complacent, and that's sad. Don't trust the government. They're not out to help you, okay? They're out to help themselves.
A 16-gear manual Arctic that had to have been a 8-speed split shift.
Jesus Christ.
What?
A split shift? Learning on that? Oh my god. It's got to be a nightmare. Wow.
Nice.
Mike got it. Nailed it.
Thought so. Did you have one where you just flicked the gear stick over to get the second ratio, or you had to flick a switch on the gear stick?
I learned on my sister's old car, which was a Chevy Corsair Chevrolet.
Yep. You had the old red flick switch.
I had the, what do they call it? 3 on the tree? Something like that?
I learned in a Kia Ceed.
I hate your car names over there.
I know, and it's not even like SEED. It's C''ED.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Sounds French. I don't trust it.
Yeah, ain't fucking French though.
I actually learnt to drive in a classic Mini.
Nice.
But I legally...
I always wanted one just for the fun aspect of it.
They're great until you roll one.
Yeah.
But legally, I learnt to drive in a Nissan Micra.
Ooh,
One of the old Nissan Micras, the square box one, like the Fiesta.
Yeah. I just wanted a Mini because I thought 6'3" and a Mini be hilarious.
You'd be surprised how tall those cars will allow.
I know they're quite because I've been in one. My mate had one, and that's when I realised, I can actually fit.
It's all right. My dad had a what are those little micro car things? What were they?
Smart cars.
Smart car. That's the one. Thank you. Yeah, he had a smart car. It was yellow. It stood out like a sore thumb.
Oh, do you remember the Ford car?
Yep, my mum had one of them. Mum had a 2003 Ford Ka.
It just literally looked like somebody had vomited that up. It was just like, what the fuck is that?
It's a butt ugly car, but fucking hell, are they good?
So I heard. I mean, they were
They are
supposed to be
solid little
really
runners.
economical and really
Yeah.
great to drive, apparently, but
If I was
Yeah,
over
just
there,
looked
I'd probably want a Ford
atrocious.
Focus. I love my little Focus. It was a great little car.
Focuses are really nice, man.
Yeah, see, if I was going to
Especially
have
the sporty ones.
I was going to say, if I had a Focus, I'd want the RST.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, I mean,
Gorgeous.
those things are nice, but like,
Yeah.
dude, they're expensive
Yeah.
for what they
I
are.
think the RS Turbo over here is 32,000 to buy.
Cool.
The standard Focus ST line, they start at 27.
I paid 27 for my car. I'm still paying it off. And that was pre-owned. It was pre-owned for
Do
6
you know what
months.
car that is absolutely shit, but I thought looked in dog's bollocks?
What's that?
Chrysler
The
PT.
Cruiser.
Oh no!
Chrysler PT Cruiser. It's a piece of shit, but it just looked classy as fuck, man.
So when I was
Yeah.
getting my Ford Focus, it was basically my mom's decision because she was the one that was signing on her credit. So she's like, "Well, we found a PT Cruiser or a couple of them." I'm like, she's like, "Are you okay with that if we get that?" I was like, "I guess I have to be." But
Is that what you
luckily-
drive?
I didn't. No.
All right.
Luckily, they found
Just thought
it was
called your car
purple
a piece
too.
of shit.
It was purple, and it was. I didn't want it. It luckily didn't have the wooden sides, but they did make them with
Oh, no,
the
no.
wood panels.
No.
But I was that close to getting a PT Loser.
You remember
They look amazing, man.
You remember Stevie and Jules, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
They both used to own PT Cruisers and go to PT Cruiser rallies.
Oh
Nice.
God!
And both of them had theirs
You mean they
completely
could
picked
turn?
out. Huh?
You mean they could actually turn?
Yep.
I just, I can't do it. I couldn't do it. Oh, at the time I was like mid-20s though. That's the thing. Like a mid-20s guy driving a purple PT Cruiser in America would be the most anti like woman like thing ever. There's no way I could pick someone up in a freaking PT Cruiser. Like, hey, yeah, get in. They'll be like, nah, I'm all set. Have a good one.
My first car, when I passed my test that I bought, was a 1972 VW Beetle.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Herbie.
Yep.
Yep. Ooh, Puddle's got pizza. Let's go.
Yep.
Puddles
Oh,
always
yeah.
get pizza.
Yeah, right.
After I'd done that car up, I ended up writing it off on a roundabout.
God damn it, Mike.
Literally T-boned it into a lamppost on a roundabout.
You're not supposed to go through the middle and just say yeet while you do it.
No, I was doing a power slide, and the obviously the engine's in the back, and then the back end overtook the front end.
Oh.
I told you about the time my cousin took me for a drive in the Skyline, didn't I?
Ooh.
Yeah, it was the Skyline. It was the super Japanese fucking sport one.
Yeah, the R32 or the R34.
32.
Ooh.
But because it was Japanese, it wasn't designed for wet roads.
Yeah.
So the underside was where they had all the electronics.
Oh no.
He had it taken in for a tune-up. So they had the bottom. There's like a casing that goes on the chassis underneath to cover up the electrics, and they'd forgot to put that back on.
No.
And he took me out for a drive, and it was pissing down. And we hit this bit of motorway, sort of a little small kind of island in between separating the lanes. And he's like, right, okay. And he was supposed to be doing this skit for one of the car shows over here. He was going to audition for a presenter job. So he was getting me to film him, talking about the car, the performance and conditions. And he was like, right, we'll do a little speed test. And he's like, right, okay. 90 easily within seconds. Screaming down this little freaking bit of motorway. And he goes to hit the brakes and fuck all happened.
No.
And and because he was because he was a right gearhead, he knew, right, let's not worry, and he actually says, we're not going to worry about this, we'll just do some cadence braking. Starts pumping the brake. Fuck all happens. The brakes, the electrics and the brakes had just went, nope, I'm not working. They had shorted. So he literally had to go bang. He looked and saw that there was nothing coming the opposite direction, but there was a load of cars coming up in front of us and a roundabout. And we were going to hit these cars, and he was like, no, slam, goes onto the opposite side of the road and has to drift into the fucking roundabout. Never went driving with him again.
He didn't wreck it?
No, he give him his due. He knew how to drive that fucking car. Yeah. But he literally handbrake. He literally had to do the handbrake to pull it into the drift, into the roundabout, and then fucking use the engine braking.
Yeah.
Once he had to take the handbrake off after he fucking initiated the drift, he had to just let the engine braking take over.
Props to
him. By that time, the drift had taken a lot of the speed out already anyway, so we were all right, but holy fuck, man.
That's a shit yo pants moment.
Scary. A beast of a car, but yeah.
Weak when it comes to rain.
Yeah. If you don't put that cover on.
It's just crazy.
Which Capri was it you had, Jane?
They were gorgeous.
There's only one Capri I would love to own still now.
The white one with the black spoiler.
Tickford.
Minder.
No, not the Winder one. The Tickford Capri.
Oh, right.
It's the one. The Tickford's the one that had the Aston Martin lamp in it. But a Tickford Capri now in original concourse, you're looking at close to $100,000.
Civic R type.
The
old one, not the new model. The old Civic R type.
A pile of shit one. Like a shit shovel. When not broken.
The one that most people went for was the 2.8 laser.
When I was shopping for my first vehicle, there was someone down the street selling an IROC Z, and it was $800.
Never heard of that. See, we all get different models.
You haven't heard of an IROC?
Like even your Fords are completely different to what we used to get.
I've heard of IROC.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's a Chevy. It was this one.
See,
Camaro,
you guys never got
Camaro.
the Ford Cortina or the Ford Granada.
So
or the Sierra.
It's a Camaro IROC Z Chevy. Oh, it was gorgeous. It was a poon magnet car, basically. And if you
Camaro,
actually,
I can imagine.
Yeah, I don't know if it had T-tops, but it was the thing back then when, you could remove the little top piece and it could become like an open top vehicle. But man, that car, it was a piece of shit. I'm sure. It was $800, so it couldn't have been in very good shape. Because those cars go for so much money.
There's one Camaro I'd love to own.
Which is
69.
Wildcat.
Oh.
Let's see.
Hellcat, sorry, Hellcat.
Hellcat, okay, yeah. The Hellcat.
I'd love a late 60s Camaro.
The Hellcat is a Charger.
Is it?
Yeah. A Dodge. Yeah, it's a Dodge Charger okay. Hellcat. I was like, that sounds weird. Yeah,
that I'd like to own.
Yeah, there's two keys that go with that car. One of them is for normal everyday driving mode, and the other is supposed to be for track mode. Which, if you use the red key, that makes it sportier and it changes the tuning by using a different key. It's pretty wild.
I just want this supernatural Camaro. The old black one. Gorgeous.
What was it?
With those noisy doors. Oh.
Smokey and the Bandit car.
I was reading Jensen Ackles when they finished the show and they were tying up, the contracts and everything. He actually asked for that in the last season contract. He wanted to leave with the Camaro, so he owns that car now.
So the movie Smokey and the Bandit had a 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am.
Yep.
The Camaro that I was talking about.
I actually had the car.
Nice.
I actually had the toy car from it.
But yeah, all those cars from around that time, the Charger and all those ones looked very similar. But man, that car had balls of steel. But
Shelby Mustang.
I was 16 years old and could not be responsible with something like that. So yeah, I didn't get it. And then I ended up with a Pontiac Bonneville instead, which was the old man's version of a... Basically, it was kind of like a Pontiac's version of a Cadillac. Like, just a boat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Take your home for a drive.
Yeah, drive around my 2 couches. It was comfy and it seated like 5, so I could shove 5 people in there. We could all go to the skate park or whatever, but is what it is. It was a great car, and then I may have swerved off the road and into a tree during the Valentine's Day snowstorm many, many years ago because I was trying to get laid. I was going to pick up a girl, and I was taking her back to my place, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'll still drive out there, no problem, because it was the first time we met too, and we were almost back, and all of a sudden it just started going, whoa, and I ended up doing a 360, going down in a little embankment, square into a tree, and I bent the frame. And I took it to a buddy of mine. His uncle did, frame straightening, and he's like, I could do it, but this car is now worth like nothing. You might as well just get rid of the whole car. He's like, I'll buy it off of you for like $100. I'm like, God damn, dude! Like, my mom just spent $4,000 on this thing, like about 4 or 5 years prior, and that poor thing. Poor little car. Thinking back, I should have taken better care of it, and I shouldn't have done that. And I was being stupid. I was thinking with my dick. Whoops. But hey.
The sounds of it driving with it as well.
Jade says, I look cool in it, but boy, did I learn how to fix cars. Yeah.
Not out of choice by the sounds of it.
Oh, I got one for you. My dad... I think his first car was a Fiat. We all know what Fiat stands for.
No.
Fix it again, Tony.
Oh. See, the Fiats were always reliable over here.
I'll still say my
harder for us to get parts.
My favourite car that I've ever owned was a 1990 Peugeot 205 1.9 GTI dimmer.
Jesus Christ.
Beasts. They were beasts. The old black and red trim. Oh, gorgeous cars, man.
And the dimmer, obviously, was the one that came with the wide arc pit. And
they
it
were
was
gorgeous.
tuned up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even the car you have now is kind of sporty, Mike.
Is it fuck?
It looks sporty.
You see one of those Peugeot 205s even still today, and they still look gorgeous, man. Even by today's standards. The Golf GTI as well, for the old Golf.
See, for the Golfs, in the VWs, it was the VR6s I liked. You had the Golf VR6 and the Scirocco VR6.
I've always
I
wanted to
remember-
own a speedy car, but if I
I
was going to
remember
do it, I'd have a race
our
car.
old drummer from the blues band. He was a well-to-do accountant,
Mhm.
and he drove an Audi A5 Sport, but it didn't look like a sport. It just looked like this, city car, really classy city car. Looked very responsible. But then he would step on the accelerator, and it was so unassuming. This car.
Yeah, I do like the
It's so
sleepers.
unassuming looking, and but it went like Jane said, like shit off a shovel.
So one of my other bosses owns an AMG Mercedes.
Oh,
Yeah, and he had it fully wrapped with olive green matte.
oh,
So it looks like a
the
freaking
British racing green.
yeah, it looks like a tank.
Yeah,
It's olive drab. But he said
very nice.
you throw it into sport mode and you can do 90 with barely pushing on the accelerator. You just
Yep.
and like the car, it's crazy how smart fast cars are nowadays. Like it knows how fast it's going, so it like automatically lowers and like does things to the brakes and
Yeah.
even the tuning automatically. Push of a button, throw it in sport mode, it changes all these different things.
What car was it? Was it one of the Koenigseggs? When it was driving, it would actually
Lower.
it would have the spoiler that would
Oh
lower
yeah,
and
yeah,
raise,
yeah. There's a few of
depending
them
on how
nowadays
fast
that
or
do that.
slow it would go. Yeah,
There's,
but it was one of the first
Yeah.
intelligent spoilers. I
There's-
think it was the Koenigsegg.
Bugattis
No,
do it.
Was it not?
The first automatic spoiler I remember was on the Audi,
Oh god.
and it was the old Audi TT.
Yes. Yep. But it was depending on how fast or slow it was going.
Yeah, I
It
think
would
it was
just
one,
raise or lower. It was oh,
once,
it's fuck, man.
once it got to 55 mile an hour, the spoiler came up.
Yeah.
It like pops out. Whoop.
Surprised I don't remember that because my niece's man drives an Audi TT. Just looks like Bumblebee.
Yeah.
There you go, Nick. Have a look at that car that's in General Banter on Undesirables. That's the 1.9 GTI dimmer.
Sporty little fucker. Look at those rims. I in
Oh,
the game what were we playing? Need for Speed. I had one of those. It's a
gorgeous, man.
that was meant to be like I think I had that as my off-roader for a while.
And when I owned the dimmer, I had the glass bottle filter on it, which is what used to make the popping noise.
Pop, 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 pop.
Yep.
Yep. You hear that all the time around here. I like to drive the
That-
car, not the
When,
car.
when I
drive
lived in
me.
Southfields is when I had that car. And from Southfield Station, basically going right the way up to Wimbledon Common, there is a 13% gradient hill. Right? The hill itself is over a mile long.
Damn.
I wheel spun that car from the lights at the bottom of by the station right the way up to the top. Just complete the whole hill just spent as a wheel spin going through the gears.
Damn.
That car was so fucking torquey, it was unreal.
I
It's so easy to power slide as well.
got to ride in when Demo had his Ferrari. I got to ride in it from LAX to Ontario, California, which is about
I had no idea he had a Ferrari.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had a Ferrari. He's has owned previously a McLaren. He's owned
Ooh.
quite a few exotic vehicles.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, there was a time in Demo's life when he had a lot of extra spending money like that, and he could do things like that. He was a money trader for a while, so he had to look the part and be a little flashy. So he ended up starting to kind of buy and sell exotic vehicles. So I got to have a ride in his Ferrari from
Nice.
LAX to Ontario, which is, I think it's about 20-30 miles. And given that it was middle of the day, Los Angeles traffic, wasn't much room for us to get moving. However, there was a small section of road where he's like, you want to go a little fast? I was like, shit, yeah, I want to go fast. Like, I'm in a fucking Ferrari. How often do you get to like go zoom in a Ferrari? So he's
Ludicrous speed.
we were cruising at like, between 55 and 65, the legal speed limit, and he tapped the accelerator and we were doing 100. I was like, what? I got sucked into the back of my seat. I'm like, I started gripping on. I was like, It was only for about a quarter mile.
Plaid.
It was only for about a quarter mile, but like, whoo-wee.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite scary.
I can imagine.
But it was fun. But yeah,
That's what the skyline was like.
Yeah.
You just touched the accelerator and it just went.
Yep.
So when we got to where we were going, we got some In-N-Out burger in a Ferrari, which is so cool. So we got to the In-N-Out, and the way California works with their curbs is all the roads have the street surface, and then they're slightly angled towards the outside edge. On the outside edge of the road, since they don't have a lot of sewers, they have like these two little indents where water is meant to like kind of run down to a main sewer drain. So, and then usually it's a little bit of an incline to get up to like the platform where you're going. We had to take this angle to get over the little down bump and then up bump so sharp it was one wheel at a time. But the thing about Ferraris is they have a feature that when you're doing stuff like that, it lifts up the whole front of the car. So it was like lifts up the front and then steep angle, and we still ended up hitting the skid plate just a little tiny bit. But it was like one wheel at a time, creeping and crawling just to get up this little tiny incline. But yeah, it feels like you're sitting on the ground when you're in one of those things.
Yeah.
There you go, dude. Do you recognise that one in Discord?
See. That looks like. Hang on, don't tell me. Looks like Hugo.
No.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. That is. Oh, what the fuck is that? That is annoying me, man. It's not a Hugo.
You got this, G. I believe
It's
in you.
not a Metro.
Nope.
Or is it?
No.
God damn it. I'm going to kick myself, tell me.
It's a Renault 5 GT Turbo.
Yes, it
Gordini.
is. Yes, it is. It's a Renault.
That's the Gordini, which was the one that had the engine.
That was the last of the good Renaults. Yep. The last of the sporty Renaults.
Oh no, it wasn't the last of the sporty Renaults.
Well,
The
decent
Renault
ones.
Clio Williams 2 was.
Well, I say again, the last of the decent ones.
Yeah.
Speaking of Discord, we have a few memes to share this week. Guys, do us a favor and populate that meme group. Not right now. In the week, so we can do this meme share a little bit more often. Because this is fun. So let's go ahead and pop that on.
Memes of the week.
Gonna be over top of us, I guess. I can screen share maybe with you guys.
Do it.
Meme dump. Go live like that. I could do that. Actually, then I don't even need the window capture. I could just do this and we can have our live reactions. Yay. Hey. Oh shit, I have to click on this part. Oop.
Oh.
When you hit the pinata really hard and you hear a kid cry. Does there even need to be a pinata? Can I just go out there swinging? Whoops. Did I say that out loud? Oops.
Yes, you did.
Most people see Batman's logo. And then there's all of you.
Yep.
Dick butt. We have, oh boy, The Sound of Silence, AI cover, Optimus Prime versus Darth Vader. Okay.
That's got to be the dire thing.
Yeah, of course it is. Pause the music here, actually. Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its
What the hell even is this?
It's just kind of creeping me out.
Right.
And a vision that was planted in my brain.
Story.
Within the sound
Of silence. Wait for it. Next verse. Here we go.
restless dreams on water
That's pretty good.
narrow streets of cobblestone. Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turn my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stared by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound
Sound
of
silence.
And in the naked night I fall.
Is this the whole song? Oh my god, it is. It's 4 minutes long.
People talking without speaking.
I hate how everybody covers the disturbed version nowadays. What's wrong with the Simon and Garfunkel?
I know. What's up with that? I mean, Disturbed version is good, but it's a cover in
It is
itself.
good,
Like,
but Simon and Garfunkel are just
it's classic.
awesome.
Yeah.
Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I teach you. Take my arms that I reach you. But my paths
When silent raindrops fell. Oh.
let go in the land.
I wonder if the background is AI too, or something. It looks funky.
Yeah, it is.
I think the characters and everything is AI.
Yeah.
That's wild. There's definitely a lot of source material for Darth Vader compared to Megatron, because there's not much
Optimus.
variation. Optimus, that's what I meant.
You don't even know your Decepticons from Autobots.
I know. I'm horrible. I haven't watched anything Transformers in so long.
Don't bother with the latest.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. That's what I've heard is like it's shit. So
Yeah, it really is shit.
It's beautiful. Bravo. Well done all around. Let's hear Elvis likes big butt. Oh no.
Huh.
All right then. Elvis likes big butts. It's too good.
You get sprung.
That's so good. This is AI. I can't stop staring. I like it. I love it. See double sprung. Sprung. Whee! You are the brothers I can't deny it. And when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist stand around teeny in your face, you get sprung. You get sprung. Oh, you get sprung. And deep in the jeans she's wearing, I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Baby got back.
Now that's an Elvis I could get down with.
Right?
And I hate Elvis. Not personally.
Oh, I just realized it's but in the backtrack. But. That's amazing. That is fantastic. Probably my favorite AI thing yet. It's so good.
Definitely my favourite Elvis track.
Right?
Love it.
Oh, let's see. Here's my contribution.
They took our gerbs.
A little England removal. The thing is, I know that's New England something, but 401. What's that area code? I don't know. This gives me
No idea.
1776 vibes. They took our gerbs.
They took our gerbs.
They took our gerbs. We got Obi-Wan cannoli.
Nice.
It looks delicious.
Love that.
Nom 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 nom.
Burr.
The baby must feed. Right now, the need for blood is rising. What the fuck? Look at that kid. What the hell? Oh. Jade
Ooh.
says, the Trump parodies are hilarious and there are loads of them. Always a moron to me.
Love
We're in the
Trump parodies.
jailhouse now. Here we see crab rangoons in their natural state of drinking from a sweet and sour sauce. Watering hole. Unaware of the predator that lurks above them. Those are some of the neatest crab rangoons I've ever seen. And also, now I want crab rangoons. God damn it. Who posted that tire thing? You son of a bitch. Yoga pose of the day. The downward spiral. Ooh, now I want to listen to the downward spiral. Damn it.
Nice.
Yeah. Right now, a baby is being born. Right now, someone just clogged a public toilet and is running out of the bathroom as fast as they can. Life goes on. Hopefully, this is not the same person. Oh my god! Oh, no! God damn it, Tyre! Jeez.
I remember with the day you were born, I thought you were a shit.
You know.
I mean, that's it. That's how we start life. Covered in blood and shit. Start and end.
There you go, Jay. Do you recognise that one in the Discord?
Oh,
It's
dear
also
God.
how we go out as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
Kicking and screaming and covered in blood and shit.
We need to have Mike's car of the week. Like, guess that car. We need to have a challenge or something. I don't know. Well, I mean, without using Google image reverse search or whatever.
Ooh.
All right, 3 guesses.
That's
Go.
oh, that's an MG.
Nope.
Ooh.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, wait a minute. That's a Volkswagen.
Nope.
Oh. They all look the same to me. That's the same picture. Insert meme reference
I
here.
thought it was at first. I thought it was the same as the last one at
It's
first.
an AI generated car, Mike. You're trying to trick us.
No, it's not. It was a rally car.
Ah, see, he's getting
Oh.
tricky.
Alpine.
Nope.
Fiat.
Nope.
No, I give in now.
It's the Metro 6R4.
Fuck off. Metro was going to be my first fucking... That's why I said MG. Because I thought it was the MG Metro instead of the Austin.
The Austin Metro 6R4.
I honestly thought that was the MG Metro instead of the Austin. Fucking hell.
All right. Enough guessing cars. I think it's time we get the hell out of here. What do you say?
Fair
Guys, stick around for the raid. We are going to, I think, raid one of G's favorite people today.
Oh, is it Mike?
No. Yes.
Nice. Mike is a gem.
So, yeah, stick around for the raid. If you got the emotes, we're gonna make
Please
a...
do. This
yeah.
guy absolutely kicks ass on guitar and vocals.
Kick ass. So we're gonna raid out of here. We're gonna give you guys a proper raid message. Copy and paste if you would be so kind if you have those emotes. If you don't, use the first one. No worries. But please stick around. It does help us and gives us a little bit more clout when it comes to getting exposed
Yes.
on other channels. Expose us. Expose yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
There's the other raid message for you guys. But yeah, thanks for being here. We had a proper bitch today about a lot of things, and you know, that's what we're here for. We get stuff off our chests, and we like to have fun and talk about other stuff like cars and AI Elvis and such. Listen to good tunes while we're doing it. But yeah, big shout to our sponsors. Jane, thanks for being here today, and thanks for sponsoring the show. Get yourself 20% off everything in the store with the code. What's your favorite cheese? We need to come up with a new cheese-related segment. I'm just saying. We're gonna do cheese facts of the week. Eh?
Oh dear.
You don't.
You're going to put me
you
off
know.
my cheese.
Jane, all you have to do
Is stick around.
is stick around. Yeah,
That's
it
literally all you have to
should
do.
automatically drag you into the when we go over
Yeah.
to Mike's channel. Don't worry about it. When you see a guy with a beard and long hair and with a guitar in his hand, say hi. That's all you got to do. But yeah, we're gonna do a cheese-related segment. I think we got to do that. We got to get back on that train. Also, shout to CC Coils for being awesome and also sponsoring the show. Use the code Who Needs Underpants for 25% off anything you can get at either of them on their various socials. They're also in our Discord, so make sure you're in our Discord if you're not already. There you go. But that's it from us. We'll see you guys all next week. And check out G for being the music sponsor. We're going to listen to some G tunes next week, I think. We're going to have his album on loop. But yeah.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
That'll be done.
Yeah, it's got to be
It
done.
isn't shit.
It isn't shit.
It really isn't shit.
Officially.
It's well made.
It's well made, not shit.
I haven't been more proud of anything in my life except my niece and my nephew.
Oh. But
You should be proud of it.
oop. Last one. Wipe it, Puddle, before we get out of here. Oh, okay. Double wiper. Wipe it. Let's go. Come on. Don't make me do it for you. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys all next week with the same random banter. Love y'all. See you then.
Bye.